They mocked my struggles. Today my life is proof of the empire I built alone. People say pain changes you, but that's not true. Pain doesn't change you. Pain reveals you. And for years, everyone around me thought my struggles made me weak. They laughed when I tried. They mocked me when I failed. They whispered that I would never rise above my circumstances. But the funniest part? All those people who laughed at me then, now lower their eyes when they hear my name. My story doesn't begin with power. It begins with humiliation. I grew up in a small apartment with peeling walls and thin ceilings where I could hear every argument, every door slam, every disappointment. My mother worked 2 jobs. My stepfather worked at avoiding responsibility. And I worked at dreaming of a life where I wouldn't have to count coins before buying bread. At school, everyone knew I wasn't one of them. They came in luxury cars. I came on foot. They ate gourmet lunches. I shared my mother's leftover roti and curry. But the worst part wasn't poverty, it was their laughter. The way they'd look at me like I didn't belong in their world. Once, during a career fair, a girl named Serena laughed so loudly the entire class looked. "You want to be a businesswoman?" she shouted. "Sweetheart, running a stall at the flea market isn't an empire." Everyone giggled. Even the teachers pretended not to hear. I smiled like it didn't hurt. But inside, something cracked, a quiet, blazing promise. One day, you'll eat those words. After graduating, I worked 5 low-paying jobs at once: waitress, cashier, packaging worker, receptionist, and night shift data entry. I barely slept. But every paycheck, no matter how tiny, was divided into 2 envelopes, one for survival, one for dreams. My dream was simple: build a luxury brand management empire that catered to global clients. Not local, not regional, global. A company where creativity met elegance, where brands became icons. But dreams require money, and money requires patience. For 2 years, I saved every rupee. I ate the same lentils every day, wore the same shoes until the soles peeled, avoided every invitation, every distraction. And through it all, people mocked me. "Nova, you look tired. Nova, you should get a real job. Nova, why don't you stop trying so hard?" It's embarrassing. They didn't know I had fire in my bones. The day finally came. With all my savings, a used laptop, and a rented 6x6 workspace above a noisy mechanic shop, I launched Novalux Strategies. My first client wasn't glamorous. A small boutique run by an elderly woman. But I treated that project like it was worth millions, designed her branding, reshaped her image, created ads, handled her social presence. Within a month, her customer base doubled. She cried when she handed me my first payment. "No one ever believed in me this much," she whispered. I smiled. "Now you have someone." That old lady's boutique became my first stepping stone. More clients came, slowly, inconsistently, sometimes disappearing without paying. But I never stopped. I read business books at night, watched leadership videos during lunch breaks, practiced presentation skills in the mirror. I built myself in silence. But the world wasn't silent. Serena, the same girl who once laughed at my dreams, had become a social influencer. She would post videos mocking girls who pretend to be CEOs from tiny rooms. People tagged me in the comments. They laughed. She even made a parody video of someone designing logos on a broken laptop. "Imagine thinking you're building an empire," she said, flipping her hair with fake pity. It should have hurt. Instead, it fueled me. I doubled my efforts. Improved my designs. Upgraded my strategies. Studied luxury markets. Learned to communicate with international clients. And slowly, quietly, my work started catching the eye of people far beyond my city. One day, a message appeared in my inbox. "Hi Nova, we've heard about your work from a boutique owner in Karachi. We'd like to discuss a full brand overhaul." It was a UAE-based fashion house. My hand shook. My breath caught. My world shifted. The meeting was scheduled over Zoom. I wore my only professional outfit, an old blazer, slightly faded, sleeves loose. They didn't care. They saw my ideas, my vision, my hunger. And they signed a 6-month contract. That contract changed everything. I moved into a real office. Hired an assistant. Upgraded equipment. Added departments. Soon, Novolux Strategies wasn't a startup, it was a rising star. But success attracts attention. Especially from the ones who never believed in you. One afternoon, as I prepared for a presentation, my assistant entered looking pale. Nova. Serena is here. I froze. Serena who? She didn't have to answer. I knew. Serena walked in with designer sunglasses, designer clothes, designer arrogance. Oh wow, she said, scanning my office. You really leveled up. Not bad for a girl who didn't belong anywhere. I smiled. What brings you? Her smile flickered. I need help, she admitted. My influence is dropping. Brands aren't signing me anymore. I need a full rebrand. And you're, apparently the best now. The silence stretched like a blade. The girl who once mocked my dreams, was now asking me to save hers. I leaned back, folding my hands. And why should I help you? Her voice cracked. Because you're my last hope. For a moment, the memories hit me hard, laughter, humiliation, mockery. But I wasn't the girl hiding her pain anymore. I was the woman she could never become. I stood. Serena. I don't work with people who belittle others' ambitions. Not then. Not now. Not ever. She blinked. So, you won't help me? No. Because you didn't believe in me when I had nothing. And now that I have everything, I don't need validation from people like you. Tears filled her eyes before she turned and left. It wasn't revenge. It was justice. As weeks passed, Novolux skyrocketed. We opened branches in Dubai, Singapore, London. Celebrities hired us. Corporations chased us. Investors courted us. And the girl who once ate leftovers for lunch was now sitting in presidential suites, sipping sparkling water while closing million-dollar deals. Then came the moment that truly closed my past. The city invited me as the keynote speaker for an entrepreneurship gala. I walked in wearing a black velvet gown, diamonds glistening, my team behind me, cameras flashing in every direction. When I stepped onto the stage, the first person I saw in the front row was Serena. Her eyes widened. Her jaw dropped. Her disbelief painted across her face. I felt the universe shift. I began my speech. There was a time when people mocked my struggles. They said I didn't belong. They said I wasn't enough. But here's the truth, your struggle is not your shame. Your struggle is the foundation of your future empire. The hall erupted into applause. Serena lowered her head. And I felt nothing but peace. The real twist? It wasn't that I proved them wrong. It was that I no longer needed to. Because my life, every building with my company's name, every luxury office, every international contract, was living proof that the girl they mocked built an empire entirely on her own. And now, when they hear my name, they don't laugh. They don't whisper. They stand. Because Novolux isn't just a company. It's a reminder that the world laughs at you until it needs you.